Hey guys, it's Coach Matt with Lifelong Recovery. So in this video, I want to talk about what to expect when you get professional help. So a lot of people struggle with asking for professional help, and it makes sense. There's a lot of different reasons why people are unwilling or afraid or nervous, apprehensive to reach out for professional help. So I wanted to just kind of go over, what is it going to look like if I actually decide to get help. So there's a few different ways that people get professional help, and it really kind of depends on the extent of the substance use and the substance itself. So first, I would say the best thing to do is to go to your doctor or go to a treatment center and get an assessment. Okay. They will be able to tell you what your best option for getting help is probably going to be. Okay. So the reason why this is important is because for some people, depending on the substance and the quantity of use, a medical detox may be necessary. That can be scary, right? I remember when I was told that I needed to go through a medical detox, I was actually trying to just get into what they call an intensive outpatient counseling program. So it's just, it was a group where people would meet for about 6 hours a week with a counselor, right, in a group. And they told me, they're like, no, you need to go get a medical detox because it's not safe for you to just quit drinking on your own. Okay, so they basically, that needs to be determined, right? Is it safe for you to just stop? Do you need medical help to do it, right? And that needs to be determined by a medical professional. Okay, and let me say this, guys, you got to be completely honest about the amount that you're using and the different substances. Okay, so if there's any time to be honest about your substance use, this is it, right? When I finally got help, it was the first time probably ever that I was actually 100% honest about how much I was drinking and other things I was doing, right? Because I was just so afraid of judgment. But again, it's really important to be honest, obviously. So depending on the substance and the substance use, they will recommend either outpatient programs, inpatient programs, detox, whatever they feel that you need. Now, what that looks like. So, detox, obviously, it's going to be, you're hospitalized, right? They're monitoring you, right? They're watching your vitals, they're giving you medication to help you detox if there is medication available. Certain substances, there isn't medication to help with the detox because it's more of a mental thing. So like for amphetamines and things like that, a lot of uppers. So again, depending on what it is, it might be medicated, it may just be monitoring you, helping you, both physically and mentally, right? Then they have what's called residential. So this is basically just once you're medically cleared, so you're not in danger anymore from the substance use, right? From the withdrawals, but to just have a kind of 24/7 supportive environment around you so that you don't go back to the substance, right? Then they have outpatient programs like what I went through. So I did a medical detox and then I went straight to an outpatient program, and that was mainly because I didn't have insurance. Um, but that's just like counseling group, maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, up to 5 times a week, depending on the program itself. And it's just meeting with probably anywhere from a few to like probably no more than 30 people in a group and it's facilitated by a counselor. Now, as far as fears, apprehensions, because of HIPAA, and especially in mental health, there are protections, for anonymity. So you need to sign a consent in order for anyone to know about it. They're not going to share your information. They're not allowed to, like, if someone calls to check on you, they're not allowed to disclose that you're there unless they have a consent on file. Okay? Even to the extent, when I was working in treatment, I believe this is still the case, even if a police officer came in and was looking for someone, they wouldn't be allowed to go into the treatment center because there's a federal protection order for treatment centers because of anonymity. So, other ways that people do it, again, this is all dependent on what the problem looks like, how much use, the quantity, the frequency, and the substance itself. Okay? There's also counseling, individual counseling that's available. Okay? So that's, obviously one-on-one, right? This isn't treating necessarily like a medical problem. It's not for withdrawal, things like that, but it's just the psychological aspect. So there's different things available. I do recovery coaching. I know counselors who specialize in addiction. So there's lots of different professional help available. The main thing, to me, if you are actively using or drinking, then you need to be assessed by a medical professional to see what you need. Okay? So a lot of people think like, oh, I don't want to get help, because I can't spend 90 days in rehab. Well, it's not necessarily going to look like that, right? There's different options available. If the detox is a medical danger, then yeah, there's going to have to be hospitalization to make sure that your body is responding to the medication appropriately, and that you're not, it's not a threat to your health, right? But outside of that, it can look differently for different people, and not everybody needs inpatient treatment. Not everybody needs residential treatment. So the best thing to do is to go get an assessment, at a treatment center, or go to your doctor and see what they recommend. The worst thing you can do is just bury your head in the sand, right? Like so many other things. The worst thing you can do is do nothing and hope the problem goes away, like I did for a long time. So just want to throw that out there, guys. It's not something to be afraid of. It's something that, is very respectable. My aunt once told me it takes a big man to ask for help. I really believe this. It takes a big person to admit that they need help and go ask for help. And the worst thing that you can do is, be in denial, or again, hope the problem goes away, or just not deal with it. Right. So hopefully that, quells some of the fears. If you guys have any questions, comments, your own experience, please drop those below. If you want to see videos on other things, please let me know. So guys, I appreciate it. If you can, please give this video a like if you feel like it helped you. And if you want to see more content, please go ahead and subscribe. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video.